highly grateful. We are still on the health revival. It has been an awesome experience with you. This is day 5 of our on health. It is, I will go with divine strength. Not any strength other than a divine one. The key text from Jeremiah 33:6. Behold, I will bring it health and cure, and I will cure them, and I will reveal unto them the abundance of peace and truth. My dear ones, we are lacking peace and we are lacking truth today in our world. God's promise to us this evening is He will reveal unto us the abundance of the truth and peace that we are lacking. Today it says the disregarded truth. Truth that has been disregarded for so long. And our foremost key text, we take it from Genesis chapter 1 verse 29. It says, and God said, behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed, which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree in which there is a fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat. Right from the beginning, after creation, after God creating mankind, He designed man to subsist on a particular food. This is an automobile system God has made. And He designed it, He manufactured it. Per His knowledge and wisdom, right from the beginning, He gave the appropriate and correct food, the most appropriate food to humanity. And so when you read something from Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 409, it says, subsisting on the flesh of dead animals is a gross way of living. And as a people, we should be working a change, a reform, teaching the people that there are healthful preparations of food that will give them more strength and better preserve their health than meat. This is strictly from the light God has given to the end time Christians. That if we really want to be strong and healthy, approaching the end of time, it is a relevant call upon each and every Christian that you let meat alone. Today in our world, frankly speaking, the cardiovascular diseases that we see anywhere are as a result of fat, lipids. These lipids are never from plants. They are from animals. Animal sources. And we can see clearly, years ago, when our foreparents were subsisting so much on the products from the earth, they were so healthy and strong. Today it's quite sad, so pathetic, that our younger ones are being fed with meaty stuffs, animal-related foods and diets alone. By the time they get to 25, 30, they have their blood vessels blocked, as you see on your screen. The blood vessels are supposed to be opened widely, to be so flexible for blood to circulate and flow freely. But unfortunately, because of our diet, these things form a lot of plaques on the walls of our blood vessels. When you read Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 386, it says, worldly physicians cannot account for the rapid increase of disease among the human family. But we know that much of this suffering is caused by the eating of dead flesh. talking about meat. God has revealed unto us clearly. This is a message to all. Anyone who believes in truth, anyone who believes in the remnant work of God. God is working on his remnant people, trying to call us out to come out with a genuine truth that have been lost for long. This is the present truth of our time. And so Christian Temperance and Bible Hygiene, page 119, it says, again and again, I have been shown that God is trying to lead us back step by step to his original design, that man should subsist upon the natural products of the earth. Again and again, I have been shown. So this is not something anyone is just perceiving and trying to speculate around. It is something God himself revealed to her about the end time. That God himself, is trying to work within his people to gradually and eventually move them to a proper diet, just like he moved the Israelites when walking with them on the desert and gave them manna, trying to change their diet. When they complained bitterly, Numbers chapter 11, go and read it. God gave them meat as a punishment. Today, what do we see? The protein and B12 deficiency theory. That if even you understand to go plant-based wholesomely, you are told, oh, you will lack certain nutrients, you'll be deficient. My dear ones, it's a complete lie. I'm saying it is a serious lie. It's a catastrophic lie. If anyone tells you that when you go on plant-based, you lack certain nutrients, that's an infant lie. Listen to what God is saying. From Signs of the Times, January 6, 1876, paragraph 19. And I quote, our Creator has furnished us in vegetables, grain, and fruits, all the elements of nutrition necessary to health and strength. If fruits, vegetables, and grains are not sufficient to meet the wants of man, then the Creator made a mistake in providing for Adam. Can we tell ourselves that God made a mistake in providing for Adam and humanity? God is saying that the grains, the fruits, the vegetables, the leaves, we just have to eat them in varieties, my dear one. Once we eat them in varieties, we will never lack anything. If the animals are supposed to give us certain nutrients, where do they then derive such nutrients from? It's even a lie. When you look into the human body, whatever elements or nutritional elements that you see scientifically in the human body is found in the soil. Listen to me clearly. Whatever you see as a nutritional element, chemistry and physics wise, in the human body can be traced directly to our source, the earth, the soil. That is what God used in creating us. And so he says, what we have to subsist on to eat will also come from the same source, the soil, the earth. And when you are sick, what you are supposed to take as a medicine should also come from the same source, the soil. And so if you say that we will lack any nutrients when we go plant-based, you are trying to tell God that he made a mistake for providing Adam and Eve, not even them alone. It was until after the flood that men began eating meat. And so, from the generations from Adam, before the flood, they were not eating meat. Where were they getting their B12 and protein from? And calcium and other stuff? It's a lie. Apparently, the world has proven more than doubt that those who are going on plant-based and practicing it properly, not by mouth, that I'm a vegan, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a plant-based dieter, I'm a conscious dieter whatsoever, and not eating properly and accordingly. If you do that, you are misrepresenting the truth of God. You are not motivating people to accept the truth from God. We are misleading, we are misliving, and we are misinforming people. When you read Child Guidance, page 384, it says the grains with fruits, nuts, and vegetables contain all the nutritive properties necessary to make good blood. It says all, oh, listen very carefully. Oh. It says it contains all the nutritive properties necessary to make good blood. So you are not lacking anything. These elements are not so well or so fully supplied by a flesh diet. Had the use of flesh been essential to health and strength, animal food would have been included in the diet appointed man in the beginning. We saw perfection in the beginning in human lifestyle and human diet. And so if we want to trace any perfect living of lifestyle, it has to be directly traced to our Genesis during the time of creation. Now listen, when it comes to worship, if we really want to understand worship, we visit Genesis, our creation, the genesis of our creation, the beginning of our existence, to understand worship, how we are supposed to worship God. When it comes to marital issues, no, we are not supposed to marry beyond one, because God created only Adam for Eve. Is that not so? Validly, that is the truth. And so Christ even referred them. Don't you know that in the beginning it was man and woman God created? We need to accept these things, but in a holistic manner and approach. Why are we not believing in the diet God gave in the beginning? We are only believing in the other ones that suits us. That is not what God wants from us. He wants us to believe Him wholly. Vegetarianism is not to prevent death, but to prevent disease, suffering, and poverty. I know the number of people who are becoming poor because of sicknesses and diseases. And they are becoming poorer, and it's affecting a lot of families. And the sufferings they go through when they cry and wail day and night because they don't feel they belong to the living. But people have been accusing. And so vegetarianism, are you not going to die? We are not saying you are to prevent death. Never. No one has ever said that. It is just there to prevent disease, number one, so that the disease wouldn't come and create a lot of mayhem and jeopardize your health. The link between body, food, and soil is that we have the same source. When you look at your body, you were created with soil. That is why your food must be grown. It must come out of the soil. Psalm 104 verse 14 says, He causes the grass to grow for the cattle and help for the service of man, that he may bring forth food out of the earth. And so when we say food, food must grow out of the earth. Anything that doesn't grow out of the earth shouldn't be considered food. Do you grow chicken from the earth? And are the raw food is not depicting our fundamental diet? We have people who have dedicated themselves unreservedly, trying to eat right with the help of Christ. And they are even going beyond being plant-based and vegan. They are called raw foodists. They are eating only raw foods, no cooked foods. And they are doing better. Let me give you one example. She's called Annette Larkins. Annette Larkins, just go to YouTube and check for her. Annette Larkins. A whole lot of bunch of them. Go to YouTube and Google the raw foodists in the world. They will come plenty. And look at how they are doing, and let them tell you People come to us when they are sick. We move them from cooked foods to uncooked foods for a while, and you see how the body regenerates and redevelops and heals itself. The diet is for healing. The healthier scientific lifestyle is proven in retrospect and current world blue zones. When you check in retrospect, you realize that we were living healthier, and there's what we call world blue zones. Even some of them are eating meat, small amounts, go and check it. I've thought about this before on this same channel, about these regions of the world who are eating healthier. And it's depicting to the world, it's reflecting to the world how we are supposed to live. Hydrogenated oils, the new killer. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil. The least I comment about these, the better. Hydrogenated oils are killing people. Stop eating any kind of oil you are buying from the market. It is suspending and floating on your blood. It's unable to penetrate into your cells. Corn oil. What is the wisdom in corn oil? Do you boil corn and get oil from it? Do you boil canola and get oil from that? Soya bean, a leguminous plant. That soybean oil. I mean, when did all these start? These are industrial oils. They are made for marketing purposes to make money. They are not even promoting the good ones. The good ones such as the coconut oil, the palm kernel oil, the shea butter, the palm fruit oil, or what we normally call the red oil. God has given us these varieties of oils to be enjoying. If you think the coconut oil and palm kernel oil smells bad, don't you know you can treat it? Just treat it. You have rosemary, treat it with it. You have ginger, you have garlic, you have onion. Treat your oils and eat. Now look at the effect of meat consumption on the planet. We are now talking about greenhouse gas emissions. That this world, in fact, the global warming is becoming too much. The greenhouse gas emissions, go and do your check. The effect of meat consumption on the planet. You will marvel. Global warming, deforestation, water usage, land and resource use, pollution. And it also contributes to nutrient pollution in water systems because of meat production. Meat has been a multi-million-dollar company, an industry, to ruin the health of our people and to make money. Antibiotic resistance. Now, research has shown that reducing meat consumption, adopting more sustainable farming practices, and promoting plant-based diets can help mitigate the environmental impact of meat consumption on the planet. Why do we see in some parts of our world there's something they've been calling that meatless Monday or so? Yes, I think something of that sort. Meatless Monday. They are promoting that in the country, that every Monday everyone shouldn't eat meat, and it will save their country from a lot. This is one deadly thing. 2, soya. Soya is genetically modified. Any genetically modified food shouldn't be accepted and approved. It goes against nature, the laws of nature when it comes to food. Genetically modified substances, especially soya-related foods. Look at how we buy soya milk for our dear kids and the newborn babies. They'll be taking soya until they have problems with their brains. And then we complain to God. When you get something from the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, one of the researches they came out with is milk and other dairy products are the top source of saturated fats in the American diet, contributing to heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease. Studies have also linked dairy to an increased risk of breast, ovarian, and prostate cancers. This is researched, not me. Animal-based milk. Cow milk is meant for the calf, regardless of what is seen in it nutritionally, because even a fecal matter has a nutritional substance, I'm telling you. Even your fecal matter is a human being. Your urine, it has a nutritional substance. When you go to the lab, you will find it. Does it mean we should go and feed on fecal matter? Never. And so, the fact that you finding any nutritional elements in the milk of the cow should presuppose that human beings should consume that. It is never true. Why do you think the cow should feed the calf with the cow milk, with its milk? Because there's something nutritionally good in there that God has placed in for the calf. Today we are fighting with them. What isn't ours? Should urine therapy be justified? Never. People are saying, oh, yeah, urine therapy is good. There are some good things in urine, so we need to be taking urine. When you wake up, store your urine and be drinking. No, it's one of the most unfortunate things I've heard about us human beings. It's like sometimes I don't know whether we are losing it all. I don't know. Something that you are supposed to excrete out, a filth, because scientifically you have seen a little good thing in there. How much have you dealt with the abundance of the good stuff? The filth in our water bodies contaminate the fishes. The farmed ones not to be even considered airfood. These farmed fishes with a lot of chemicals, is that how you want to consider it? That it's better than the ones from the ocean? Because yes, we know all the urine, the filth, garbage, everything is going into the ocean. And it will affect these fisheries, their system, their habitat, and all those. It will affect everything about the fishes we eat and consume. Imagine consuming a fish which is feeding on a fecal matter, particularly the fecal matter of your enemy. Councils on Health, page 70, paragraphs 1 and 2. It says, will the people who are preparing to become holy, pure, and refined that they may be introduced into the society of heavenly angels, continue to take the life of God's creatures and subsist on their flesh and enjoy it as a luxury? We are eating meat as a luxury. From what the Lord has shown me, this order of things will be changed. If you are not willing to change, fine. But God is saying it will be changed. And God's peculiar people will exercise temperance in all things. We are all willing to be part of God's peculiar people. These things must eventually be done away. The liability to take disease is increased tenfold by meat eating. The intellectual, the moral, and the physical powers are depreciated by the habitual use of fresh meat. Meat eating deranges the system, beclouds the intellect, and blunts the moral sensibilities. Your safest course is to let meat alone. Stop eating meat said by God himself. He who will abuse animals because he has them in his power is both a coward and a tyrant. A disposition to cause pain, whether to our fellow men or to the brute creation, is satanic. Many do not realize that their cruelty will ever be known, because the poor, dumb animals cannot reveal it. But could the eyes of these men be opened, as were those of Balaam, they would see an angel of God standing as a witness to testify against them in the courts above. A record goes up to heaven, and a day is coming when judgment will be pronounced against those who abuse God's creatures. And when you read Testimonies for the Church, Volume 1, page 561, it says, I saw that the reason why God did not hear the prayers of his servants for the sick among us more fully was that he could not be glorified in so doing while they were violating the laws of health. And so you realize today we are so sick in the church. We are getting sick, church members, children of God. We are always praying about sickness. We are getting sicker and sicker. God says he's not listening because he created the laws of health. We are violating them. We think God is only spiritual God. No, he's a physical God. That is why he made us physical beings as well. If you eat anything that affects your physicality, you are insulting God. The main reason people become so defensive when it comes to the question of meat is because of appetite. But let's read from Counsels on Diet and Foods, page 43, paragraph 2. It says, with our first parents, intemperate desire resulted in the laws of Eden. Temperance in all things has more to do with our restoration to Eden than men realize. In our restoration to Eden, for us to regain heaven, as we are all trying to get to heaven, it says one thing that is so significant is to be temperate in all things, because of the intemperance of our foreparents Eve, we lost the Garden of Eden. And it says if we will have to regain it, we look at that. Appetite. So Proverbs chapter 23, verse 2. Let me read the verse 2. It says, and put a knife to thy throat if thou be a man given to appetite. If you are someone who is controlled by appetite, by what you see, you just desire for it and you eat, whether it's good for you or not, it is telling you that then you have to put a knife to your throat. Now, Testimonies of the Church, volume 3, page 485, it says, one of the strongest temptations that man has to meet is upon the point of appetite. One of our temptations will be on appetite. Satan is constantly on the alert to bring the race fully under his control. His strongest hold on man is through the appetite, and this he seeks to stimulate in every possible way. Because of appetite, we raise up a lot of questions regarding meat and stuff that will kill us. It says all of the lessons to be learned from our Lord's first temptation, none is more important than that bearing upon the control of the appetite and passions. Why would Satan go and tell Christ that turn this stone into bread? Bread, food, to tempt Christ, for Christ to fail in his mission, just food. As our first parents lost Eden through the indulgence of appetite, our only hope of regaining Eden is through the firm denial of appetite and passion. As I'm coming to an end, I want you to read with me from Hebrews 5, 2 and 8. It says, who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way, for that he himself also is compassed with infirmity. When you are joking that Christ ate fish, he ate it because of us, because we were out of the way, because we were so much indulged in sinful acts, we have swayed from the truth. He was also compassed with infirmity. Counsels on Diet and Food 380, paragraph 4. Among those who are waiting for the coming of the Lord, meat eating will eventually be done away. Flesh will cease to form a part of their diet. We should ever keep this end in view and endeavor to work steadily towards it. At this end time, it says, those who have received instruction regarding the evils of the use of flesh foods, tea and coffee and rich and unhealthful food preparations, and who are determined to make a covenant with God by sacrifice, will not continue to indulge their appetite for food that they know to be unhealthful. Lastly, this is the challenge I have for you. It's on your screen. I want you to screenshot this. I want you to write them down. It's a challenge to each and every one of us who have watched this tonight. The first documentary is What's the Health? Write it down. The second is The Game Changers. Third, Eating documentary by Edison. And then Eating Our Way to Extinction The other one says End Game 2050. And then the next is what you eat matters. What you eat matters. And then we have forks over knives. Forks over knives. These are the things I want you to go and research on. God has proven beyond all. He wants us to be healthy. He wants the best for us. Let us go and research and study and pray earnestly to God to reveal the truth unto us. I love you so much. I'm not here to judge or condemn anyone, not at all. I came with love. Christ loved us first, and he still loves us. His truth will set us free. And so, let's believe only in Christ and his truth alone. May God bless you this evening. I'm grateful for your massive support and prayers. Let's keep on sharing the link to be through this program successfully. May God bless you. Good night.